everyone, welcome back to Two Drink Minimum, a podcast where we tackle various life topics over 2 beers at minimum. We are your hosts. I'm Janet.
And I'm Edwin.
And today we're going to be talking about passion projects we do not have the passion for. And while having that discussion, we are going to be drinking Cosmo Pale Ale brewed by Noon Whistle. Not Moon Whistle, Noon Whistle.
Not Moon Whistle. Some people might confuse Noon Whistle with Moon Whistle. Not me, though, but definitely some people. Okay, so let's open them up. And this can's really weird.
Yeah, it's
maybe I can try to show you on the video. It's got a cylinder like lid, and when you open it, you don't just drink from the side. You gotta open the whole thing up. So
oh my god, I don't think this is going well.
All right, we're gonna have to open it here because I'm already getting sloppy. But
yeah, so it's like you open it up and it's like
people.
like an open mouth can. Like there's not like you're just popping the top of it. You like peel it all off like a can of soup. Basically.
Yeah, it's Campbell's beer, you know? So that's really interesting. Alright, so now I'm going to pour it, which is also hard to do because of the way it's done. So I'm going to watch Guimanis here. Yeah, oof, okay. I'm going to just throw it. There we go. Alright, got it going. Too fizzy, but...
Yeah, so kind of starting off with what our topic actually is. Yeah, mine has too much head also.
Well, first we got to, take a sip and tell people what we think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this beer. To me, it's not a classic, but it's just, I really enjoy it. It's in Lombard, Illinois, which is not too far from me. I didn't know that.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's so
the
smooth.
opening's weird, but after that, man, you're good to go. You do need a glass to drink it out of, because you can't drink it out of this can.
I actually think you can drink it out of the can. I feel like it's fine.
You can, but I think it's weird, because it's just...
It is weird. It kind of feels like it's almost going to cut you.
Or it's going to spill, but it won't. I'm pretty sure they're very secure on that, but... I think it's, I think we should definitely go to the brewery, ask them some questions, because I would definitely ask them, did you intend for that to happen, so people can drink out of it like that? Is there a reason why you made that way? So do you want people pouring in glasses? Like, why'd you do such a zag to the zig,
probably has to do with, like, maybe how you compress the air in the can or something. Or, like, the aroma and stuff, like the way you...
Right.
That way, if they're not drinking it out of a glass, maybe they get, like, the glass experience of having it open.
That's why I would love to ask them, because I honestly don't know, and I kind of curious. But, yeah, the beer's really good. What's the brewery again?
Noon Whistle.
Noon Whistle's a brewery?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Noon Whistle's Cosmo Pale Ale.
Got you.
The name of the beer is Cosmo Pale Ale, which
I've
is
had
a
it
pale
before.
ale called Cosmo.
It's been a while, though, and, yeah, it tastes great. 5.0 ABV, so it should be pretty good. Not too much, but not so little that what are you drinking? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So getting into the actual topic as Janet described, it's passion projects we don't have the passion for. Would you like to break down what that actually means?
Yeah, so these are things that we either have literally never done or done so little of that they just really don't count as anything that we've really tried to accomplish. So a passion project you don't have the passion for might be, and this isn't one that we have, we'll get into our example shortly, it might be something like gardening. Maybe you have a yard and you're like, you know what, I want to plant some flowers out there, but you just never have. You know you never will.
Fun fact.
But you keep kind of thinking that
we had a neighbor who was really weird in our previous apartment. And he saw, we had a garden apartment. We had the basement apartment.
Yeah.
And we had a huge garden. I mean, it was like one of the weird perks.
Big yard.
Yeah, huge yard. I mean, huge. Like, literally the size of another building. That was our yard. It was ginormous. We definitely did not take full advantage of it in any way. It was a huge highlight for an apartment. And we used it sometimes, but like, a person who like would actually utilize it all the way would be doing barbecues on a weekend basis, like really make
parties
it like,
and
it's so much space. And in a city like Chicago, you're not getting that kind of space. I mean, you could have a home and not have a garden that big, especially in the city. So it's funny, we had this weird kind of hipster neighbor, and one time he like really had a conversation with me about, what you could do with the grass there and the space there. Why don't you could plant tomatoes and like all this stuff. He started explaining a vision of a beautiful garden that would be mine and that would be, easy to do with so much space. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's an idea, because I'm like, I'm not really interested, but you seem interested, so I'm not about to, crap all over it. And then he said, again, he's a weird hipster dude, he's like, I see that yard, and all I see is opportunity. And I was like, when I had like a cup of Dunkin' coffee in my hand, I'm like, yeah, something to think about. I'm like, well, I'm just going to drink my crappy coffee and go back to bed.
It was a very white comment for him to make in a predominantly Latino Chicago neighborhood.
I'm like, I bet you do see opportunity.
Yeah, I was like, all right, bro.
But yes, that it just reminded me of that. He definitely had a passion for it. I did not, but I also didn't claim I did. So again, just to kind of go back to passion projects, especially me, I think sometimes I fall into the I'm just a musician trope. Not like I'm more than an athlete kind of thing, not in a problematic way, but just kind of like where I do so because I've chosen to live that kind of life. Everything I do is music. I'm practicing, composing, teaching, playing, recording. Like it's all just, it's never anything else. And I think from the outside looking in, one, it's intense, and two, people might think, oh, he literally does nothing else. And although it's the vast majority of my time, that's not true. Janet knows, and I think you guys are going to learn more about me as I go on. You know, I consider myself a foodie. I like to drink beer a lot. I play a lot of video games, you know. I watch a lot of sports. So even though it is still like 80% music, you know, 5% sleep, and 15% the other stuff, I'm really passionate about those other things. So this is kind of a good way for us to show, hey, even though, especially, I think that's kind of the whole point of the podcast, just talking about stuff that's not always just our jobs, which because we freelance and do such intense things, that can kind of happen.
Though oddly enough, it's talking about stuff that we haven't done outside of our jobs.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I think the other point of this topic too,
yeah.
it maybe in some ways it might have made more sense to do this later in the show's history. Now I'm thinking about it. But one reason we want to do this is to kind of show
to
that
episode 35.
Yeah, right. Is to show that, like, you know, we talk a lot about the stuff we do and how you can get things done and the perspective and the life you should live. But like in reality, like, you know, we have shortcomings like anyone else. And there are a lot of things that we would like to do, but we kind of know we're not going to do. And that is, in a way, kind of whack or somewhat sad that, like, you have this idea and you just know you're never really going to do it. But I think it's, you know, natural for us or anyone to have something that they're like, yeah, that'd be cool to do, but then you might never do it.
As a 30-year-old man who's lived a long life, I've come to realize that even for the person, and I'm definitely a person who I don't accept the excuse, I didn't have time. I hate when people use it, even if they don't.
I wonder if we've had that discussion
in a malicious way. Yeah, I hate. I'm like, no, you didn't make time. You decided, you chose that this was not a priority, and that is fine. But don't bullshit me and say you were too busy, because I'll find it and make you feel salty. I'm like, you chose Netflix over your career. That's a choice you made. Netflix is a choice. So you know, I don't like when people say, you know, don't have the time. But having said that, the reality is there are only 24 hours in a day. There is only so much you can do, and some things we have to let go. And it's okay to let go. So these are kind of like the things we're letting go or have chosen not to do, because even though we love them, to do it the right way, there just isn't enough time, and we've chosen to say, you know what, I love X, but I can't do it because of Y. You know, or because of
it's about priorities. Yeah, not that there's not, once again, like the time thing. It's not there's not enough time. It's just that, like, if I really want to...
Well, there isn't enough time based on my other goals that are more important, you know.
Yeah, like...
I put these things first, so you're out of the loop. Yeah. So, and again, we will get kind of into the grandiose, you know, final, like, word part later. But I think a lot of times the problem is, I think a lot of people aren't self-aware enough to say, hey, I actually don't have time for this. And they always keep talking about certain things that they actually never do. Like, oh, I'm going to go kayaking. I'm going to do it. And it's like, you're never going to go kayaking. You don't live in an area where it is. You'd have to take a trip there. And you said you will, but you haven't taken a trip anywhere. And I'm guessing your first trip isn't going to be to Denver to kayak.
Yeah.
So admit that to yourself. Be okay with it and say, hey, I'll do these other things. Or if it is that serious, go kayaking in Denver, because you said you want to do it. Show me the money and go out there
and it's been a moving target, but but acknowledging my own failures and kind of owning those and rocking those has been something that I really like about myself, and I take pride in, of being like, yeah, I don't do this. I know it's whack. Whatever. I've just decided this.
So let's get into it. You want to share one of your passion projects? You
yes. Go for passion project I don't have a passion for, and you know, knock on fake wood. Hopefully one day I'll maybe do these things, because I do want to do them. But I don't want to do them enough to do them. Learning an instrument properly. I've been trying to learn an instrument. I've been, like, with this passion project that I haven't had a passion for. I guess you can
Lives
say...
with a music teacher?
I guess you can say, since, like, elementary school, like... I'm trying to keep these kind of short because we'll go, back and forth on a couple different examples. But I liked the piano a lot when I was a kid. And I got really into it. I had my mom buy me a keyboard. But then, this is very, like, dark, but they cut the piano music program at my school, so we were no longer learning the piano. And then I was kind of just discouraged from pursuing it on my own, and we didn't, the internet wasn't the same, and it wasn't as accessible either, so I just kind of threw that to the side. And then I got the guitar in high school, very cliche, and then I was like, I'm gonna learn guitar, and I did practice a little bit.
Went to his high school, played some rock, tried to play some rock songs on an acoustic guitar.
Have
you ever heard Wonderwall?
I haven't. I had actually
It's a great song.
fun side story. When I was student teaching at Curie High School in Chicago, one kid asked another kid that unironically in the hallway, and then I think they played it afterwards because they didn't actually know it. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so then I tried doing that, and I fell off of that. Not too far in. So I've never really felt comfortable with an instrument. And now the next thing I want to do is I want to learn the ukulele. I actually have. I don't think this is actually ukulele. It's a different type of string instrument.
The first,
on the
or
thing?
The next thing you want to try?
Well, the next instrument that I was going to try.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
So
I tried the piano, didn't actually stick
guitar.
to it. Yeah, I've never actually stuck to these instruments enough to be I can play this, and I don't want to get to the level that, of course, I couldn't if I tried. If I really wanted to. Edwin's a professional level, so it's a whole different thing. I wouldn't not want to do that. But I would like to get to the level of being, knowing a couple songs.
Playing 3 to 5 songs.
Yeah, being able to just, and feeling like I could play them well. And I've never really done that because I just never have fully committed to it. And I've been wanting to do it forever. One of my goals this year is to learn just one single song. I haven't done it yet. December 20th, I'm going to be there. But that's definitely a passion project I don't have the passion for because I keep just never doing it. And I've tried it a lot of times in my life, and I've never actually saw it through. So I guess I don't really have the passion for it after all. At least not right now.
Okay, so I'll go with one myself. This one kind of breaks my heart. I don't even want to say it because...
Right, it makes it feel real. And then you're no, but I am going to pick up the ukulele.
This one, I really think I will do. But at this point...
That's the secret of the
passion project. Point, I'm going to have to say it's definitely a no this year. Mm-hmm. It's probably a no next year. So I'm just going to jump into it. And it's a great idea I have. It's a Game Boy Advance player. For those
I think you are going to do that.
Yeah, I think I am. But I'll just go with this one for right now. And tell you why I'm not doing it at least. Passion project, I don't have the passion for it this year. I think that's fair to say. The reason, for those of you who don't know, Game Boy Advance player is just a handheld video game system. Very popular in the early AUX 2000s, for people who don't know what the AUX are. So the early 2000s. And it was just a very popular... portable gaming system that was released during the time by Nintendo, and it was kind of for me the last time that I was in any way a child. So I think that's why I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It was the last time I didn't have responsibilities or a job. I did near the middle of its life, but the beginning of it, when I first got it and first played it, I was a child. I was a freshman, sophomore in high school, and I still remember one of my fondest memories is the day before I went to work. I knew I literally knew I am going to be an adult for real. So I played the heck out of my Game Boy Advance. I got hired on a Thursday, and it's you start Monday, and I'm oh, this weekend I'm going to go in. And I did go in. I played every game. I just started changing the cartridge and just going hard. So I'm once I worked at 8 to 4, it's over. And it kind of was. I still played it, but it definitely, it was a clear stamp of things changed. So Game Boy Advance player is an idea I have for a website. Where what I want to do, because I can't do what Janet does, so it's kind of interesting. You started with what's actually my life focus, and then you're I'm kind of interested in that too, but not a life focus area, so I'm not doing it. And for me, it's your life focus, and I'm interested in that as well, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, I can't do what Janet does. I can't write daily articles and features and do a YouTube channel and join podcasts and do the comment. I can't. I'm not doing all that. I don't want to do all that. I can't do that. So for me, kind of like Janet, where she said, "Well, can I learn 3 to 5 songs?" The answer is still no, but that's the idea, right? Can I do that?
Well, I could.
Yeah.
But,
well, we don't actually know.
Yeah.
Logically, yes. You have a functioning brain and motor skills and all. Yeah. There's no medical reason to assume that you cannot. So the same thing. I can't do all that stuff to that scale. So what can I do? So what I thought about doing, and what I'm still thinking about doing, is a Game Boy Advance player, and it would be a website where I'm not going to try to cover current events or what's happening in the game. I can't do all that. So I'm covering what's dead. I'm covering the Game Boy Advance. It had about, I think, 700 North American releases. Yeah, that's why it's a big thing. So 700 North American releases. I might have the number wrong, but it's high. And I want to do a short review, a blog post, 300 words, more if it needs it, but at least 300, so it's something tangible. There's a paragraph or two here about this game. And I want to do a short review on every single game that was ever released in North America. And that's my goal because I love the system. It gives me the nostalgia. And then I'll be able to dedicate it. And there's an end goal. They're not making any new games. I got the big number, and I'm just slowly chipping away, right? If I decide to do it on, the current consoles, PS4, Xbox, it's insurmountable. I don't know how many years. It's I can't do it. So it sounds like it's something really hard, long goal, big project, manageable, and I think it would be so cool to have it documented, have it on a website, and show the whole world, hey, if you're interested about the Game Boy Advance, there's literally one website, all of it. It's all there. It's all free. It's all accessible on the internet. And the entire... I archived the history of a video game console that I cared about, and I did it. Reasons why I haven't done it, well, I just told you, it's 700-something games. That's... To go from... I don't even own a Game Boy
How many
Advance
games per year do you have to play?
I did the math.
Before you're dead.
My goal would be to do 4 games a month, and...
oh my god,
so I think
that's a lot.
It would be like a couple years. So 4 games a month, 700 divided by...
divided by 4 for how many
48,
months?
So it's 48. It'd be 48 a year. So I could do 700 divided by 48, and that would tell me how many years it would be. That can't be right.
15
okay,
years.
No, there's no way that's right. I'll
Are you
figure
sure?
it out later.
I think that do the math again. Well,
So I did 4 games a month. We would do 48 a year.
4 times 12.
Yeah, I did that. 4 times 12.
No, you did
48.
4 times 11.
4 times 12 is 48.
Okay.
I messed up, but I knew I
Okay.
messed up. Yeah, let's say I do it for 5 years. Yeah, see, that looks like it's pretty rough. Again, I don't remember the number, so I probably would need some help.
Also, 4 a month is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Games you gotta beat.
Right, exactly. So this is why I haven't decided to do this, and I don't want.
I know I'm gonna get roped into this, so I should make Edwin teach me the piano.
I don't want to fail at this because I think that would be really disappointing. That's another thing too. Not in a. I don't have a fear of failure.
Yeah.
I don't have a fear of failure, but I don't like to start things that I know I'm not going to finish. That's one of the reasons why sometimes I'm kind of close-minded to things. Jen will be like, why don't you try this? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, you won't even try it? I'm like, I already know where this is going, man. That's why I've given up on learning how to cook. I'm never going to learn how to cook at a scale to feed myself 5 days a week, so I am not doing it at this point. Maybe in a year I can change my mind. I'm not saying I'll never do it, but 2018... that shit is dead. Okay, so don't come to me like, hey, I got a zucchini recipe. Let's spend the only days we have off learning it.
I've gotten back
I'm
into.
done with that.
I've gotten back into cooking, but one thing I've realized now is that if I have enough money to buy enough groceries to cook, I probably have enough money to mainly eat outside and just throw in a couple crummy
So
noodles
Game Boy Advance
when I
player,
need to.
I love the idea. I want to do it. If you tell me right now, hey, you're 50 years old, do you think the Game Boy Advance player would have been done? My answer is yes. But right now, the answer is going to be no.
I know I'm going to get roped into Game Boy Advance player,
I don't have the time
and I'm
to do
excited to be part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the time. I don't want to make the time for it. And it's just a big monster. So at this point, it's a passion project. I'm very passionate. I want to do it. I would love to do it. But right now, I'm gonna have to say
Hoping
no.
we can do it and then sell it out to a high reputable bidder on it.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
So Kotaku, if you're listening, Patricia Hernandez, I got a pitch.
Patricia Hernandez doesn't work Kotaku anymore.
Damn.
Gita Jackson?
Gita Jackson. I have a pitch. 700 articles on the Game Boy Advance. Boom. Hashtag that.
It's not a very timely pitch. No.
Well, I'll tag her in it so she'll see the video. She's like, what podcast
Yeah,
is this?
yeah, sure. I'll add her on Twitter. I don't already favorite enough of her tweets. Okay.
So what other thing? I'm not passionate about the Game Boy Advance.
But I like that we started
there. You
there.
don't care about guitars and music.
Yeah.
What else are you?
You don't care about video games. I don't care about music. Maybe though we both like those things, but
right.
you know,
but not enough.
Not
to do
enough
these
to have
things.
the passion for it. My next thing, this one I know I don't have a passion for, but low key part of me is like, what if I did have a passion for it? But it's like, no, you don't have a passion for it.
I could be a karate fighter.
You know? Yeah, it's like, and that's the thing about these. It's like, and then quick cutting myself off for my own ideas, I guess. But like, the reason that I like to label these as like passion projects that I don't have a passion for is because I feel like when you don't acknowledge that like it ain't happening right now, it's over, you don't really care about doing it, like it weighs on your head, kind of like when you have that long to-do list, but you know you're not going to get to all these things, like why is this like, you got 80 things on here, like you need to narrow this down. That's kind of like what this is for too. Passion project I don't have the passion for. Running a half marathon in every state. Now, the reason I thought it'd be cool, but then once again, kind of the time is also daunting. It's like, how many do I have to do a year? And then until...
You better do more than one, because if not, we're finishing this at like 70. 75.
Well, no, I already have some states. I've thought about this.
No,
I have
but still,
Iowa. I have Illinois.
You're like 25. If you do one a month, one a year, you still need 48 more.
In the U.S. states, I should clarify for anyone.
Yeah, if you need 48 more, and you're 20, let's do that, man. 25 plus 48. Let's see. 25 plus.
Yeah, while you do that math, so
73, and that's, you have to do it next year. You can't miss a year.
Yeah.
So
it's a big undertaking.
I mean, we don't even
But
know if you'll be 73.
The reason I think it would be cool, would be because a lot of reasons. You know, I love running.
Yeah,
I love doing races.
It's not a daunting task for you. You can run a half marathon every year if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's the other things. I
love doing races. I do distance running, of course, as I think I've mentioned on here before. And I think it'd be cool. You could travel. You could have these like memories. I thought it'd be cool too to like do one of those cheesy. Like I really thought this through. One of those cheesy little boards. You know how they have like the bottle cap from every state. Like I have like a big U.S. map and all my medals from all these different states and stuff. But it would be like a fun way to travel. It would encourage me to have this great story. You can even go next level, put a blog with it, be like, it could be really, really cool. But it's just like, the time, the money, and it's like, do I really have a passion to do that? Is that something I really want to commit to doing? And the answer is no. Like I'd rather spend the time, energy, and money putting that in other things. And then also there's some states that are particularly tricky. Like I'm like, what? Like I've literally, though I have been interested in this because I literally have Googled like half marathons in Alaska. Like I've looked that up. That's in my search history. But I kind of know that that's a lot. It probably won't happen. I probably won't do it because it's so much to take on, and I don't think I like it enough to do the level of work it would require, as all these things are. But yeah, that's definitely one that I have a passion for, but I don't actually have a passion for, so I probably will never do that one.
Yeah, so cool. I have another one. This one is, I would like to do a Chicago Sky blog. So, similar to the Game Boy Advance, I've rekindled my love for basketball. I've always loved basketball and liked it to varying degrees as the years have gone on. It went from my like my second favorite to my favorite to way down to up. Now it's kind of like really high. It's probably my second favorite sport at this point. I think soccer is still number one, but it's close. So because of that, I've trying to be a little more open-minded to things. And also, the NBA is not year-round. So I was like, you know what? Why am I not giving, the women's game a try? So I said, you know what? I'm going to actually give it a try. I'm going to check it out. And if I don't like it, at least I can say, hey, I'm not a problematic thing. I tried to watch it, didn't like it. I'm not going to just watch it for quality's sake, If I don't like it, it's not a personal thing. I gave it a chance. And lo and behold, I gave it a chance. I really liked it. I really liked the WNBA. It was really, really fun to keep up with the teams, watch the games. I bought the League Pass. So I went all in with the trial.
How much was the League Pass?
The League Pass was pretty cheap. I got it on sale. It was $9 for the whole season, which is like 3 months. And like 60. The numbers are crazy. It's like you're paying like a nickel a game or something. It's ridiculous. Normally it's $14.99, which is still ridiculous, but at least, it went up after a while. Anyway, I got the League Pass. I started right away. The first day of the season I was there, and I was checking out. I'm like, yo, these girls can play. The game's interesting. It's fun. It's exciting. We have a local team. They just came from, they were in Rosemont. Now they're actually in the city. So I'm like, yeah, so I don't have to, if I want to go to the game, I don't have to go 30-minute drive just to go watch a basketball game. So it was awesome. And one thing that obviously the WNBA suffers from is lack of content. They actually don't have as many journalists. It makes sense. It's a smaller league, so it's got less coverage. So as members of the community, we fight to get on ESPN. That's a big deal because even though it's basic, we don't even get that. So it's frustrating, and it's like, well, I could be part of the solution. I can, as a male, can give my voice to
oh my god,
to help the cause. But I'm like, yeah, I would like. There's not a, for example. There's not a Chicago Sky podcast, I love podcasts, and there's not one. There isn't even anywhere to go get that content. I don't think I would do that because this is a little too much for me to do on that regular basis, but writing I can do. And there's not as much information about our players. If you really want to get deep into the culture, it's okay. It's easy to do on Reddit and things like that, but for individual teams, it's a little harder. It's cool if you're interested in all of it. There's plenty. But if you I just want to go deep into Chicago Sky lore, that's tricky to do.
Basically, you just want to be a hub for everything that you care about.
Yeah. I just want to help the community out, and it needs it, right?
I love the GBA and I love the WNBA.
Yeah. So I've thought, and this one again, just like the Game Boy Advance player, I've thought about doing this one. I know for a fact I cannot do this long term. I could probably do I don't know 2 to 5 years if I really am dead set on it, but I can't do 20. There's no way. Unless it really becomes a career, which I doubt. I could, again, like anything else, I can do any of these things, but that doesn't mean I want to / should, So at this point, I've pretty much decided I'm not going to do the Chicago Sky thing. The season's over, so definitely not this year. Maybe next year, probably not though. The way I plan on doing this is I'm just going to feel it out. If it's burning inside me and it's March, then I think I might go for it. I might talk to some people in the community, hey, I'm thinking about this. Should I? And they're all like, yeah, we don't have anything. It doesn't matter how good it is. Just do it. Then I might do it. Or if some people are like, yeah, I'll help you, you know, like we'll do a podcast, like we'll do it on my thing and I'll edit it.
Oh my God,
like,
no, everyone's too much. You can't do that.
I'm just saying,
No.
if I'm
It's a horrible idea.
Right now, I'm not, because again, it's just too much, and I have a strong passion for the team. I really like it, but it's just it's too much at this point. So it's put in the back burner. It may never happen. I hope it does someday. Maybe even next year. Probably the most realistic one's probably 2020. If ever, right? Because I'm only getting busier with my own stuff, and it might be like, oh, I don't even have time to watch it.
That's what sucks about some of those things too, because it's just like, it's kind of like almost thinking about an alternative self, and that's something else that actually watched.
Yeah, but today we're celebrating like letting that go and be like, hey, it's okay. I'm gonna be in the community as much as I can.
It's hard not to be wistful for that alternative self though, or that in a weird way, the ideal self, because obviously, I mean, I love that I do games and writing and YouTube and stuff, and that's my biggest passion. If it wasn't, would do something else. But at the same time, like, I do love other things, and I want to give myself to those things too. But like, you only have so much of yourself.
Yeah, it's the truth is my ideal self is making more music than ever before every year, and I have big. I'll say here in the podcast. I have big goals. I wanna create. I'm dumb enough still in my music career that I think I can have a huge influence in the hip hop community, a huge influence in the jazz community, a huge influence in video game and mixed media, in film, in advertising. Like, I think I can do it all, and I can. I still believe that, but that means there ain't much room for nothing else.
Yeah.
So okay, you wanna record a jazz album, mix a reggae song, and make some music for a video game. Then guess what?
I didn't know you were gonna mix a reggae song.
Chicago Sky and Game Boy Advance are gonna have to go away because there's no way you can do all four of those things. So I'm like, well, so that's the reality of stuff, and that's cool because I'm still doing what I love, and I love that more. But yes, it is a little sad, and it's important to realize that.
I thought about that with not too long ago, I watched a random YouTube video on minimalism. It just came on my suggestion. I watched it, and the woman talked about not shopping for your ideal self, be practical about what your actual stuff is. And I feel like this kind of passion project you have a passion for is that it's being like, okay, well, my ideal self is somehow the most knowledgeable, successful video game journalist of all time, and also a musician, and also other thing. But the reality is
you just described Brian Altano.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's the most knowledgeable journalist of all time, but yeah, he's also a musician.
I mean, if you write those words and Google it, I think his picture comes up. Whether that's because the algorithm recognizes the music and the journalism and the video game. You know what I mean? He's the Pandora of that, I want this.
Yeah, and you know what? And I think that's something too. You see other people have these, it's I want to be this multifaceted person, but it's sometimes,
Yeah, and everyone's different, right?
And you can eventually reach. Yeah, I know. And you can eventually reach your ideal self.
Him. He's got multiple albums. He does a comedy show, and he's on IGN, killing it every day. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And he's a dad.
He's a dad, yeah. And he's got a kid. And he's what's the big deal?
Yeah, I know. So, and I think that's the thing, too,
Poops, what's the problem?
Sometimes you, think about, I think that's a good point that you bring up, though, even though you're just kind of joking. But, you see other people do, more. There's always people doing more. So you're like, maybe I could do more. But then you realize...
Yeah, I realized a while ago.
Either you can't, or it doesn't make sense for you to do that.
Or you've chosen not to, and you gotta be okay with that.
Yeah, it's not where your energy's gonna go.
I can only give you 8 hours of work or 9 hours of work, and I gotta.
Can you grab me another beer while I get into what my next one is?
That'd be another one too for a podcast. Know yourself. Be like, hey.
Yeah.
My dad runs. Right now, I'm training for a marathon, and I'm running great, and I'm running a lot of miles, and it's going well. Hopefully, October, I have the finisher's medal. My dad's not running for anything, just he loves it. And he's running more miles than me. And I'm in marathon training. He's not training for anything. That's just the truth. He loves it so much that he's still beating me. And Janet's she mentioned, well, you're kind of under training or whatever. I think even if I wasn't, he'd still be beating me. He would just go out more. Yeah. Some people just got it like that for certain things. And you just got to shake the hand and be like, hey, that's not me. That's okay.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to beat him at running miles in a month.
I kind of realized that... not too long ago as well, because as I mentioned in earlier episodes, that I stopped teaching so I could pursue games journalism, and I know plenty of people that do both of those things, and I thought I could be that person, and then I realized quickly I cannot be that person, nor do I really want to be that person. So it's a little bit of that as well, kind of figuring out in practice what works. So my other passion project that I don't have a passion for, this one's a little bit less thought out.
Second beer.
Yeah.
Hit the minimum.
It's a little bit less thought out than the other ones. but I have kind of contemplated a little bit. I want to learn more languages. I know English as I'm speaking it now. I'm not actually fluent in Spanish at all, even though people think I might be because I'm
Anyone
Mexican.
who thinks that hasn't heard you speak it.
I know, yeah, because I'm...
¿Cómo estás?
Gracias. It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. But yeah, so like, I'd like to be fluent in Spanish.
So is that? I'm sorry, me making fun of you. I didn't hear the actual thing. So is learning a new language a passion project? You don't have a passion?
Yes, new languages in general. So like Spanish, I would count that as still one because I have not learned it. I cannot speak it.
You're pretty close. I mean, I think you should get better, but I wouldn't call that a new language you learned.
That's fine. I have other ones. I really want to learn.
It's a language you've mastered.
I really want to learn German. And I've like gone as far as like my friend Catherine has mentioned, like she speaks German. I don't know if she's completely fluent.
I can say German soccer players' names: Schweinsteiger,
right?
Klaus.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, it'd be fun. Like we should, I'm like, I want to, and I've even mentioned to her, like, I really want to learn German because I do want to visit Germany, and I think it'd be cool to like know the language at least a little bit, right? And I'm like, oh, we can hang out and like practice together because she's not, and I thought about that and all that stuff.
Question: the other day, again,
I'm not gonna do that.
We're on the podcast, so it's a little loosey there about like this content, but you mentioned like the other day you mentioned me saying you want to go to a soccer game in France or Germany. Why did you say those things at the time? Like what made Germany so enticing like the last couple of days ago?
Oh, I'm trying to remember completely.
Was it just an article you were writing or something?
No, well, a little bit. I was writing a lot about FIFA. So I was thinking about soccer, but I was mainly thinking about soccer. I love soccer, and I've always been. Not always, but I've been intrigued with Germany for a long time because I love the German soccer team. Like, I love...
the league's fun.
Yeah, like Bundesliga. Like, I like Bundesliga a lot. And it seems like a cool, like, place to go, point blank. So I'm like, I think it'd be really fun to go to a game in Germany. And then I want to go to a French game in France, I guess, or whatever. Maybe Paris, maybe not, because I love, I love Mbappe. So I'm like, it'd be cool to like see him play. Now, if I can't see him play specifically, maybe I could just go to a game, and I think it'd still be really fun. And obviously, we all know soccer is a lot bigger in everywhere that is not America.
Yeah, well, it's a global.
Canada.
And that's one thing. Again, we don't.
And so it'd be like, oh man, like the feeling of like being in the stadium. Yeah. So that is a passion project that I do have a passion for. I do want to go to those games.
We don't want to get into a whole soccer podcast, not today anyway, but. That's what's another thing.
So if I could speak and be at the stadium.
Another reason I love soccer is the history because it's so global.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's so rich that you can how I mentioned the Chicago Skylar. Chicago Skylar only been around like 10 years. You can go. You're in the Wolves from like they're in the
130-year-old stadium.
How much rich history, knowledge, the area. Like you can do that for like hundreds of soccer teams and learn so much about the culture and the people and the history and the passion. And it's like there's worlds within the world, on Earth. It sounds like I'm like high or something right now, but you know what I mean? It gets so crazy.
It's a very American way to look at it. When it's worlds within the world. It's like, you mean other places that aren't the United States?
No, well, I mean, even here, like, you can go into the history of the New York Cosmos. It's pretty
there's so many things that, I think that's the other thing
it adds to the love of the sport. Yeah. The sport's great, the goals are great, and then the history, it's like, now we just got, like, a great, like, culture.
Kind of, like, tying it back to the passion projects part. I think you bring that up, definitely relates to like the passion projects thing though, because like I feel like there's so many things you can do in the world. Like
awesome stuff,
and it's like, oh man, that's like so cool, but you're not gonna be able to do all of it. So you kind of have to just decide.
That's why I love watching documentaries because it lets me into that world. I don't have to do anything or care about it, and just
oh my god, like
next thing you know, I'm enamored by this like table tennis Olympic trials that
Fastest
I've never
Car,
watched.
which I know both of us watch. It's a Netflix original series, and it's about like people making these cars. They're trying to make them really efficient, and it's those people are like very passionate about cars, obviously, and watching that has made me like really like almost in a way want to get into cars on that level. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. They like know how it works and like they like can build the parts and stuff. I mean, that's crazy. So there's like so many things that you can be passionate about. And I guess in some ways I'm like, I want to get passionate about more stuff because like, the world is such a rich place in terms of what you can experience. But, I'd also kind of rather just focus on games in my career. So it's kind of a rough thing to negotiate.
Matthew McConaughey said in True Detective, life's so short, you can only be good at a couple things, so you better pick the right ones,
Yeah.
And for him, it was the police work and all that.
So the point is, video games and music. I probably won't be learning a new language, but part of me is like, maybe I still will one day. We'll see. I don't know.
And for me, I'm going to go with, this one's a little vague, but I just would want to do kind of like the Chicago Sky thing. I want to do other sports blogs. I would love to do Medium posts. I have a Medium that I started because I had to let go of one of my other passions.
I also started Medium, and I have not used it either.
I did do like 2 or 3 posts on there, so I did a little bit. I did one. I did my welcome one, and I did one on like liking the Lakers, I think, and stuff like that. So I've done some stuff on Medium, but not much. It's been very minimal. I haven't told you guys on this podcast before, but I had a jazz blog because I'm a jazz musician. So I did one to kind of. I noticed that I wasn't writing as much because I was so focused on music. So it was kind of a way for me to write and still work on music. So I'm like, I wanted to make sure I was working that muscle because I like to write and I also need to write. I think it's part of keeping my brain development, sharp, being a good writer. So I started the Jazz Loop. I ended that because I was just doing so much music. I'm like, it's better to let this go. And it was hard to maintain. Anyway, I did that for 5 years. And
that's a long time.
Yeah, again, you didn't do anything for. Yeah, we were talking about Janet's very young.
I've never done anything for 5 years.
I did the Jazz Loop for 5 years, and then I let it go last year, which was sad, but it was the right thing to do. So I decided, hey, just so I can test my muscles a little bit, I'm gonna have Medium. I'm gonna put some posts up. Mm-hmm. Haven't really done that as much. I did a few. So anyway, speaking of that, like other writing projects, I just don't have the passion for. I guess I don't have the passion for writing like I think I want to. I want to do like some sports blogs, So you can see I'm wearing a Cubs shirt over here. They just won today against the Washington Nationals. They're a game and a half up in the division. I'd love to write some stuff about like just like what's going on with the Cubs, what's going on with the Bulls, what's going on with the Fire, and like just other stuff. Kind of I consume a lot of sports content, so I'm like on the cutting edge, and I'm part of the conversation. I love the Lakers. I love checking out the writers. I support them on Patreon. I message them on Twitter. They actually respond back to me most of the time, so it's really cool. So I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with these people. This is awesome. I'm not no creepy, like problematic, like like they're my friends. Yeah, but it's like I talk to you about the things that you are a professional at, and you respond to me, and we're having a conversation, and it's awesome. And even though I don't want to do it at that level, because again, don't have the passion for it. I don't want to be a sports journalist. It would be cool if I was just dip my toe a little and said, okay, well, what if I'm semi-pro? Like kind of like a person who does like plays basketball at a gym. It's like they're not trying to be in the NBA because they can't. But can they still be part of the achievement of sport in this field, right? It's the same thing. Can I still get my journalistic sports muscle itch? But the truth is, I don't even do my Medium stuff. This one I don't have the passion for. I'm not going to do... If I do anything, it will be the Sky thing. It's not going to be a random sports one. But I would like to do, like the Chicago beat, and do a little rankings of the teams and write about it.
That's a lot of content.
But I'm not going to do that because that one I can definitely say it ain't going to happen. Even if I do have the passion, I'm going to go very, low-key with... Yeah. Or very, focused. Like, I'm just doing this Chicago Sky content. So... I will not be writing up a blog post about my Bears thoughts and all that. It ain't going to happen, and I know it now, and that's okay. So that's, Chicago sports blog. I do not have a passion for that.
Yeah. That's basically it. I guess for me, the next one I can think of, this one I think I will do, but I don't know. I was thinking about it today, actually, and I'm not really sure where it lands. This is kind of getting a little bit more into, career tangential stuff, but... writing a lot about video games, there's, I keep trying to do my own, blog because, for my portfolio, and I will do a blog because I need to do a blog, and I'm actually going to get, some content up there, by next week, actually, which is kind of crazy, but, I have these different series I keep trying to launch, and, I want to, start all these, different websites and projects, but it's girl, you can't even do the stuff you're doing, so it's why are you starting all this new stuff? But one thing that I want to do, and I don't know if I'm going to make it its own site or if I'm going to try to do it within my own site or what the situation is. But I think it'd be really cool to track, all the, it's, too much, all the video game references in hip-hop music and just write about it and, have all these different, documentations on that.
Them. That would be ridiculous.
Right. I mean, you probably can't succeed in doing all of them, but that'd be kind of, in a way, the goal.
It's when we do best rap album, no one's listened to every rap album. So technically, we're already,
and I've done a little bit of that before. I've done a little casual blogging about games, and I used to do, I did, maybe 2 posts on this, video game times hip-hop, but I'm oh, it'd be cool if it was, a whole thing, and, whatever. But it's, in reality, it'll probably just be maybe a subsection of my actual blog and not a full-on project because, I just don't have the time to allocate to actually do that, the resources to do that. And it's one of those things too where like, especially when you think of like passion projects that you don't have the passion for that are career based, it's also kind of like, is this actually gonna be useful in any way, or am I kind of just like, not, I don't want to say wasting your time, but it's kind of like, it could be better spent on other things.
Once we realize how much time is required, it's like, is it worth the fight? Yeah. The whole make time, or you don't have the time. Is it worth it to make time for this, or is it not?
Yeah, it's like, why am I spending, hundreds of hours looking up,
making a casserole? It's
all
like,
the time.
Do you even like casserole like that? You're like, actually, I only like to eat it that one time I was at your house. Like, then, let it go. Yeah. Do
you have any other passion projects?
Yeah, I have one more. This one, if you asked me 2 months ago, it would not be on the list. Now it's on the list because, 1, don't have a lot on my list. 2, I'm starting to think I'm not even going to do what I wanted to do with this. And that's, I want to write a video game book. That's right. Your boy is a published author in this dream scenario.
Did you steal that from Patricia Bright?
No, I did not. Did she say that?
Yeah, I put up on my Instagram story. I put down, didn't mention her at all today.
Oh, no, I was thinking of Gia Jackson. Sorry. Wrong black woman.
Yeah, great.
My bad. Hey, it was me. I'm the one. I'm the devil here.
Okay. But yeah, Patricia Bright, she's a YouTuber, and she just had her book that's coming out. She just announced it, and I put it on my Instagram stories because I love her content. I thought it was very inspiring. She was like, and she said the exact same thing. She said, "Your girl is a published author," and then she did an instant replay of it, and she goes author in slow motion with the book. So yeah, it was literally the exact same thing.
Oh, that's hilarious. I guess I'm just in Patricia Bright YouTube culture. Or Instagram culture. Yeah. So basically, I only have one idea for a book, and that's Janet really loves video games. So I like video games, but I don't love it like she does. But one game that we both really like, but she also likes more than I do, is Smash, which is Super Smash Brothers, which is a fighting game based off Nintendo.
That's right, I'm a Smash Bros. Bro. Even though I suck, you wouldn't know.
It was really hilarious because Janet was literally ahead of her time. I bought Super Smash Bros. Melee, when it was commercially relevant, in the early 2000s, like 2001, whatever it was, and she loved that game. Like I was in high school and I liked it. I thought it was an awesome game, but I didn't love it. I just strongly liked it, But Janet was let's see, if I was like 15, she was 9. And she's begging me every day, play the game, do a 32-man meeting, do a 64-man meeting.
I literally wrote it in my diary. I went back in my childhood, I looked, and it said, I wrote my day, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave now, gonna see if Edwin's down to play Melee or Mario Party 4. That's what I wrote. And then I left and I went to ask you.
She begged me to play, and half the time I just conceded it. Half the other time I'm just no, I'm not doing that. But she just played like crazy. I'm like, yo, what the heck?
And the crazy part is I'm not good. I'm mad I'm not professional because I spend so many hours.
Yeah, but you didn't spend the right hours. You
exactly right.
Of,
I wasn't
boxes and So anyway, she really loved the game. She was definitely ahead of her time because for people who do know video games, it's an iconic game. It's still considered the best fighting game. It's still one of the best
fighting games.
I would say it's it's not Street Fighter. It's in the conversation.
Yes,
definitely.
He will still play it today, and it came out. He will still play it today at a
professional. I make a living, play in front of hundreds of thousands of people level or 50,000 people level. Crazy, insane. Historic game. So Jenna was knew that right away, and I didn't know that right away. If you would have told me at the time, hey, in 2018 people will still be playing Melee, I'd be like, okay, I think they're gonna make another one before then, and it's it's not gonna matter. It's okay, how would that be possible? Because I played Madden. I wouldn't have believed you. I'd been like, what? Why? What the heck? I mean, it's good, but they'll make a better one. No, they won't.
It was a perfect game.
Yeah. So because of that. Kind of because of Janet, I'm into the Smash culture. I also like the game. I also think it's very good. I also played it recently, and I still think it's very good. I just never liked it.
I kind of want to play after this, to be honest.
I'm down.
Yes.
So anyway, the point was, I thought, you know what? There's this publisher called Book Fight Club. Book Fight Gaming. No, wait, hold on, let me look up the name.
Boss Fight Books.
There you go. See, Janet knows. Boss Fight Books. Book Fight Club. I'm gonna need you to edit that.
I'm not gonna edit that.
Okay, fine.
Also, whatever. You have to edit this one. If you want to edit it, you can.
It's gonna stay in there, guys.
Okay.
I think this will be the most unedited video we have. So, right. So, what's it called again? Boss Fight
Books.
Boss Fight Books. Yeah, I'm the one with the bad.
Though
name.
I don't know if they're if they actually have books at the end of their name. I know it's Boss Fight though. I don't know if they have books at the end.
Anyway, they make.
But yes, Boss Fight makes.
They're
they publish
a book publishing company that releases a lot of really great video game books. That's, to my knowledge, all they do.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done stuff on NBA Jam, Metal Gear. Sorry if you don't know a lot about video games, but basically they've done like anyone who's wanted to make a really great video game book and was either a journalist or a developer or just passionate enough to sell the pitch and show they can do the work. Mm-hmm. They've released a series. They've done like about 15 books or something at this point. They've done about like 6 a year, and it's kind of picking up steam. People are starting to recognize, oh, if you want a good book, like they have already like 15 to choose from about different games, and it's interesting. And they've had journalists like Chris Kollar's done a book, and like people who've worked on, I think the NBA Jam was by the developer, same thing with Spelunky. Mm-hmm. So in other words, we're just fans that just really showed they could do their work. So they take pitches, and I thought, you know, it'd be great. I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna give them a pitch. I'm gonna tell them my story. I'm gonna write the opening chapter and then kind of DM some people. I'm not gonna say the names now because I actually still might do this. But I have some people I'm thinking of. I'm gonna reach out to them and say, hey, if I do the book, would you be willing to do an interview for the book? And then I can put your name down as, oh, I got so-and-so and so-and-so pro fighter said they'll be in the book. And I can show the Chicago scene, the national scene, and basically the history of Melee and the culture and the fact that it's still relevant today and how amazing that is. And it's a great time because Smash Ultimate is coming out. So the next installment, the 5th game, Melee was the 3rd game. So the 5th game is coming out. So, and again, like I said, it's still very popular. So the 5th game coming out is only going to rise Melee even more. People are going to be like, oh, you know, that's still the best one. Like, what? And then people are going to play it and it's going to stay around. At this point, it's proven.
The 5th game?
Yes. Yep. Smash 5. Yep.
Melee was 3rd?
Yep. Oh, second, sorry.
Yeah,
it was second.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Brawl was 3rd. No one talks about Brawl. So anyway, the point is, I thought it'd be great to make the game, to do the pitch. If I don't get the pitch, they don't take me, which is very likely because I'm not a professional like author of any kind. They don't take me, hey, let it go. I don't think I'm going to fight that fight. Obviously, if I do get it, though, I'm going to fight like hell for it. It's a great accomplishment. You know, it'd be awesome to be a published author. It's a small company, but yo, whatever. I'm a published author. Like, and the book's gonna be on sale. Like, and it's gonna be physical. Like, crazy. I'm gonna push it and try to sell it and get every person who ever bought Melee to buy the book and be part of the movement. But at this point right now, they're taking pitches for next year. So I got like the next couple months to try it. I'm just like, I don't know if I got it in me to do the pitch. It's just a lot of work.
Oh my God.
I don't even know how I would approach a chapter and showing it to them. So
have beer all over my glasses. It's hilarious.
I'm still debating well, if I'm gonna try it, 'cause it's gonna take me hours of work. And
sorry, I'm just thinking about how hard it is to pitch.
No, the issue is it's gonna be
how hard it is to pitch anything. I think about me pitching articles and
a book. Yes, it's a really hard pitch. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time just to shoot my shot. It's not like I'll be like, hey, I'll do this, and they're like, we're just gonna take the 13th tweet. You know, it's like, no, you're gonna have to really show. You know, like a job application. It'd be like doing a really long job application to a job you don't even know if you want. I do want the job, but it's like that's a lot of work for maybe not the job. The last time I spent that much time on something that didn't have a result, you already know, was when I had there's like this Google Camp thing that I was in the USC.
Tell the whole story.
Yeah,
Tell the whole
story.
So
I'm in the USC Honors College. I was when I was a student there. So we get stuff like, oh, go to this ball, or there's this really great internship, you know, it's usually medical and science stuff because people who usually are in part of the, USC college were like, medical and science kids. You have to be like a 3.5 GPA.
Also, USC has a really big medical.
Right, so a lot of reasons. You have 3.5 GPA, you get invited to join, and you have to join. So a lot of the emails I got were spam for me because I'm a musician, so it's like I'm in the arts. So anything about great internship at Loyola.
Job at Jimmy John.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
So...
Great Loyola, internship as a, neurosurgeon or something. I'm not going to do anything of that stuff.
I don't think they do that as an internship.
I'm just making up something, whatever.
I hope they don't. Can you imagine? Just an unpaid neurosurgeon? Why?
So,
okay.
Most of the emails didn't really pertain to me because I wasn't doing that stuff. Also, even this is funny, I don't think I've ever said this, but every now and then they would have perks. But the thing was, the way my school set up, like the music building's far away from everything else. So they'd be like, oh, we're getting free sandwiches like from 1 to 3. I'm in the dungeon doing a band lesson from 1 to 3. And there's no way I'm gonna run there and get a sandwich in time. So even when it was stuff that I would like, oh, we got free cookies. I'm like, it's cookies during the time. Like musicians, the way music schools work in universities in America, we basically every minute we're there, we have classes and bands and rehearsals and practice and lessons. So we don't have any time. You know how you see, I see kids, they're with the frisbee, they're blowing off class, like. We don't have any of
that. See, it's a city campus.
Yeah.
No, y'all still throwing the frisbee?
Yeah, they still throw the frisbee. Yeah.
Y'all throwing the frisbee down the Dan ride?
Yeah, people are. Yeah, they throw a frisbee. They hang out. We don't have any of that. We're far away from all that stuff. We're not by where most of the students are. We're by the freaking train. We're underground, literally, and we're just working the whole time. So even when the emails could pertain to me and I would be interested, I'm like, I was at a time conflict.
All right, getting off topic.
So
what were you actually talking about?
So the
Google Campus thing.
Emails never helped me. One time, I thought it would. It was like, oh, there's an internship, 3 months. Go to Google. It's for, and they put like arts. It doesn't matter. They just want pretty much smart people and stuff. So I'm like, oh, great. I'm a smart person. And they're like, oh, we'll help you with your passion, blah, blah, blah. Do stuff, come to the Google campus, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, great. So I see it and they're like, oh, it looks like an easy application. So it's like, oh, just fill out these things. And you know your paragraph. Why would you want to go to the Google campus? Why would you want to do this? So I'm like, okay, not that bad. It was like, 9:30. I wasn't really going to do anything else. I was thinking about like maybe practicing another hour, but I'm like, oh, let me just do this. It looks like it's pretty easy. And hey, shoot your shot, right? What's the harm? Just fill out the couple of paragraphs and be done with it. My girlfriend was knocked out sleeping. My father wasn't around, and Janet didn't live with us at the time. She was in school herself, so I was by myself in the house just trying to quickly do this little the application. And then it was one of those things where slowly you next page came up and it got bigger and bigger and meatier and meatier. And of course the email was like, oh, it'll take you 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. Like everyone who's reading this email should fill it out. So I'm like, all right. And since it's one of the few times that I actually did was something that looked like a value to me, I'm like, cool. But then as I kept doing it, I realized this is not a 5-10 minute thing. I was there for like an hour or two. I was there for a while. I mean, I had to write a cover letter. I had to have recommendations by my peers and my teachers. I was emailing teachers and being like, can I put you down for this reference last minute? I didn't even get an okay. I put them down anyway. Like, I was just like, I was going in it because next thing I knew, I'm like, I've just spent an hour and a half. It's like almost midnight. I started like at 9 and it's like 11:30. I'm not going to give this up. I got to finish at this point. And then after I finished it and submitted it, I looked into it. And I found out this is like a really rare opportunity. They take like 8 people. It's like a lot of money. They gave like $1,000. And basically like you have like a 1% chance of getting it. And they pick like the best and brightest. And even though they say that it can be the arts, it's pretty much just the medical and science kids anyway. So they're like, yeah, you have a chance, but like it's like 1%. And I'm like, why did I waste the last 2 to 3 hours of my night on this this recommendation?
So go buy Edwin's book when it comes out this Friday.
Yeah, so it was like a big waste of time. It was funny though. I did laugh because I worked so hard on it. You had to laugh. You're like, oh, you just wasted like 2 or 3 hours of the end of your night alone. No one was here to stop you from just like going for it. So I had all these teachers here like, oh, can I put you down for this Google summer camp thing? And they're like, they never messaged. They never emailed me back either. They just like ignored the comment. And I put them down anyway, so it's pretty funny.
Classic.
So yeah, so I don't want this boss fight. What's it called?
It's boss fight, yeah.
Boss fight to become that, where I spent like 20 hours doing my pitch and then not getting it. And I just feel like, do I really want to do that work? I know I will do the work in the extra book. I'm not actually like worried about that because I know if I get it, this is my like moment. This is my Game Boy Advance player. Like this is it. So I'm
This is my Oprah moment.
This is my Oprah moment. So I know I'm the kind of person. You give me something that's overwhelming for me, I'll get it done because I got it. But to think it's gonna be maybe overwhelming and it's just a pitch, it just makes it discouraging. So
welcome
for me
to
right
every
now,
second of my life.
For now, it's a passion project I don't have the passion for. I'm gonna decide before the end of the year because if it's like January, right now they have also they've closed their pitches, so they're not taking pitches right now. But it did say they're gonna take pitches early in the first quarter of 2019. So like if you have a pitch idea, have it ready. 2019 we're gonna open it again, and they've already mentioned some stipulations like we don't want something on this game and this game, and I'm good. They haven't said like no Smash because then I'll be like, okay, well I'm not trying anything else. So it's still an idea there. it's holding on to by a thread though. Before it went like, oh, I'm definitely gonna pitch it because what's the harm? Now it's like the harm is the work. The work is a lot. So now
the harm is always the work.
I went from what's the harm to I don't know, and now I'm like, you know, on the edge. And it's funny having this conversation right now made me feel like, oh yeah, don't do it. Part of me's like, just go for it, man. Like, go for it. So I'm still feeling that. I'm still fighting that struggle. But right now, it is a passion project. I don't have the passion for, but I hope someday I do.
Right. So, guys, let us know in the comments, or
yeah,
you know,
what passion projects do you have a passion for? And you know,
what do you not have a passion for?
Yeah. Well, passion projects you don't have the passion for that you know deep in your heart, you know, you want to like it, but you don't like it like that, and you're kind of either okay with it,
yeah,
or what are a few that you're like, you know what, you know, I'm actually gonna go for it. You know what this reminds me of? This is the
or maybe listening to this will be the deciding factor. You know, yeah. It's like, will I or won't I?
What we don't want is people wasting their time. So if you really don't have the passion for it, don't get hung up on it and waste days and hours and nights at the bar arguing about it. Just accept that, hey, I'm not going to be a knitter. It's okay. You know, I'm not going to knit stockings, and that's fine. And if you are a person who wants to do that, do it. But if you're not, like, kind of just settle yourself and be okay. Don't be in the middle.
Sometimes you won't take that pottery class. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, hey, didn't like it.
Oh my God, I thought of another one, but it's too late because we're already coming up on the hour. But I would love to dance, like learn how to dance, like hip hop dancing. I would love to do that, but I haven't yet pulled the trigger on that.
So
yes, there's so many things.
Comment on things that you would be interested in. You think passion projects you don't have the passion for. And you know, this reminds me, we'll kind of wrap it up with this, I think. It reminds me of that How I Met Your Mother episode where they're like, sometimes you have to let things go as you become an adult, that you just, things you want but you can't have. It was the one where, with Lily eating the hot dogs and Marshall dunking.
Oh, like let go of like the self that you once were.
Yeah, or that you wanted to be.
But it was what you once were.
And it was funny because in that one, Lily said, "No, I'm still gonna. I am the hot dog champion." She was.
Yeah.
So for me, or for both of us, or anyone, maybe we'll realize, you know what? I said I'd let it go. I'm not letting it go, and that's cool too because Lily went back and she ate the hot dogs.
Yeah, you gotta let go or recommit.
Marshall deleted his dunk champ, and Ted deleted his college radio station. You know, they let that go. I'm deleting the Chicago sports blog. And the other three I'm kind of leaving there, but I understand that at this point, it's not going to be something that I'm going to do in this year, and maybe not next year, and maybe not ever. And just being okay with that and saying, hey, I still love Game Boy Advance. I still love Chicago Sky. And I still love video game books and books in general and journalism in general. But maybe I like it as a passive person, as a member of the community, but not a forefront leader influencing or creating content for it. And that's okay.
Yeah, and the nice thing about acknowledging the passion projects you don't have the passion for is it frees up your time and your mind to focus on the things that you do generally have a passion for.
The thing I definitely have passion for is music and creating great music and influencing the world with that. No doubt about that, and that's great. That means thanks to me not doing the Melee book, kids are learning how to play piano, and video games are going to have music, and I'm going to release another album, and that's great.
But also on that note too, it just kind of like, you know,
and the book was never going to come out anyway.
It frees them to like not be weighed down by it or feel guilty about it or feel like it's on your to-do list. Like some of the stuff isn't something that you're planning on doing when you really like think about it and be honest with yourself. And I think that's freeing in its own way.
For sure.
So let us know, guys, what your passion projects that you don't have the passion for are, or maybe this helped you discover stuff that you're like, you know what, I am going to do that. I am going to knit.
Yeah, or whatever. You're like, you know what, I'm not willing to put this on a list. Let's go. And then go for it. Right?
Yeah, and that'd be really dope. So
if we inspired you or we had helped you get a couple laughs and admit your own, like, hey, you know what, I'm not going to do that. And it's kind of funny, you know, and it's healthy and, you know, whatever. You go ahead and share that. And again, always like, subscribe our videos. We're just starting out. We're trying to get that URL.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a journey, but we're going to work on it. We're going to get that URL. Please do it this year, so that way next year I don't have to put it in my New Year's resolution, because then that means I have to really work on getting the URL. And I'm not trying to do all that work, so please.
This is supposed to be a casual
No, we're getting the URL. We're getting the URL. Then we're going to get 1,000. Then we're getting 100,000.
I know. Edwin said, and I think I already called him out on an episode already, that he would be fine once we got the 100, and I told him it wasn't true, and he said it is true, but he's lying. And I think now he knows that he's
Prove
lying.
me right or wrong, podcast community. YouTube world. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's about it, and we will see you guys here next time. Bye.
Bye.